Hey travel friends, it's Stoof here from Travel SzN. Welcome back to our channel. We recently returned to our home in Pittsburgh from a 6-week travel trailer trip to the beautiful state of Florida. We spent our Christmas and New Year's holidays, plus most of the month of January there. During this time, we visited theme parks and state parks, beaches, and forests. Before we dive into this vlog, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any more of our fun travel adventures like this one. Alright guys, it's time for our vlog of our Florida winter trip in 2023. We departed our home from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania the week before Christmas, and we made our first stop at Kissimmee, Florida, where we stayed at the Kissimmee RV park for a few nights. The first thing we did is we stopped at Medieval Times, which, if you're not familiar with it, is a dinner and a show where everybody that works there gets into character as if they're living in the medieval times. And it was Nate's first time ever going to Medieval Times, and my sister flew into Orlando to attend the show with us there, so we had a fun first night in Kissimmee. The next day we went to Universal Studios. We got the 2-park pass for one day, so we went to Islands of Adventure for part of the day, visited Hogsmeade, and did some of the Harry Potter rides. Alright, it is time for our vlog of our winter. And then we took the Hogwarts Express train from Islands of Adventure Park over to Universal Studios, where we finished up our day. We went to the Diagon Alley part of the Harry Potter world and saw a bunch of other cool stuff, did some more fun rides, and then called it a day. Make a sound.
I can't. That's not even close.
The day after that, we went to Epcot, because why not spend Christmas Eve at Epcot? We had a lot of fun at Epcot. We did the drink around the world, but we started at Mexico, which we learned later on was a bad idea. So we didn't make it as far as we expected getting around the world. One thing that was really cool we got to do at Epcot was the new ride for Guardians of the Galaxy. That was a really fun indoor roller coaster. Basically, the roller coaster turns as you're on the ride, so every person feels like they have a front row seat on the roller coaster. Because this is a new ride, they only allow you to get in line using the digital queue, so you have to download the Disney Parks app and get in the virtual queue in that app for this roller coaster. So you can do that first thing in the morning, and then it gives you a spot in line. You just have to be arriving to the ride after your virtual queue time has been met. On Christmas Day, we checked out from Kissimmee and began our drive down to Marathon in the Florida Keys. We spent 9 nights at Scherer State Park. This is where the real relaxing began. I woke up every morning to watch the sunrise. It was our first time staying here at the campground. I have a video on this state park and campground linked in the description under this video if you're interested in learning more about this park. But while we were here, we did a guided kayak tour with a ranger that talked about the nature all around us. We saw these cool little upside down jellyfish all in the water, and we took the dogs for walks. They got nice and tired, walked on the beach, laid out on the beach, went to some restaurants in the town of Marathon. We tried key lime pie for the first time. I don't love it and I don't hate it.
You don't love it and you don't hate it. Alright, let me try this bite.
Actually, now I like it.
Are you gonna feed me or not? No.
I know. Pretty good now. Now that I had a second bite, I'm like, alright, I like this. And after our time was up at Scherer State Park, we originally were planning to go back up north and stay at Collier Seminole State Park. However, because of the hurricane that hit this past fall, the park was still closed and was scheduled to reopen on our last day there. So we had to make alternate arrangements. We decided to just move a few miles up the road and stay at the Jolly Roger RV park. This RV park has some nice amenities, but the sites are pretty close when you're staying at a standard interior site. We were spoiled at the state park and had this big open spot with a lot of privacy. And then at the Jolly Roger park, we were parked very close to 2 other trailers and didn't have any privacy. But there was a pool and there was a nice beach area to lay out, and if you have a boat, this is a great place to stay because you can back your boat right into the water. There's a ramp. After our time in the Keys, we headed back up north and then west to Chokoloskee Island, which is a little island just south of Everglades City. It's in the northwest corner of the Everglades. We stayed here for a few nights. This was a very quiet, peaceful RV park as well that had some awesome sunsets. Everybody that worked here was very friendly. I would highly recommend this RV park. After that, we headed up north to Scherer State Park, where we spent the next 10 days. It was our first time staying at this state park, and I really enjoyed it. I was pleasantly surprised. There are a lot of hiking trails that go throughout the park. We did a different trail every day. The dogs are allowed on the trails as long as you have them on a leash. We saw lots of wildlife, from eagles in the sky to tortoises on the ground, armadillos at night. Another great thing about Scherer State Park is its location. It's a 15 to 20 minute drive to the nearest beach. We found a nice public beach that had free parking and a concession stand so you can get some food and drinks while you're there hanging out at the beach. We always enjoy some beach time along the western coast of Florida. After spending some time in Scherer State Park, we drove northeast to Wekiwa Springs State Park, which is located about 20 minutes north of Orlando, Florida. This was the last stop on our itinerary. The entire trip, I was calling it Wekiwa Springs, and when we got there, I had to ask the ranger, and he said I was saying it wrong, and it is Wekiwa Springs. While we were staying in Wekiwa Springs State Park, we did kayaking one day, and that was a really awesome experience. There weren't a lot of people kayaking, and we saw so much wildlife. We saw alligators, we saw lots of different birds and turtles and fish in the water. And it was really quiet. You could just listen and hear all of the nature around you, the water, the animals. I would definitely recommend renting a kayak if you go to this state park. I have a video on things to do at Wekiwa Springs State Park. If you're interested, I have a link for that in the description under this video. After Wekiwa Springs State Park, we had to wrap up our trip and head back home to Pittsburgh. And that's a wrap for our Florida vlog. Overall, it was a very relaxing trip. Both of us had a pretty busy work schedule in October, November, and December, so it was nice to take it easy a little bit, also just get outside and enjoy some nature and not be cooped up inside working all day. Thanks for watching, guys. That wraps up this video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Have a great day and happy travels!